Vanguard, this is away team. We are en route to the designated landing zone. All systems nominal. Uplink stable. We should be past the outer debris layer right about... Wow!
My God.
You see this, Vanguard?
Crystal clear, away team. Seems like long-range scans were right. The planet is gone. If you see no clear approach vector, you have permission to abort.
No. Some pieces of the crust look large enough for a touchdown, and we detect anomalous structures among the debris. We could take a look.
Anything you can bring back from there will be invaluable, away team. Just be careful not to bite off more than you can chew. There are plenty of other worlds on our list.
Copy that, Vanguard. Plotting the landing path.
Hey, it's Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And today with me I have...
Oh, I'm a Quackalope.
He's a Quackalope. We have multiple ducks, not just the one sitting next to me, but we have in the shot, wherever. This is going to be Phase 2 of ISS Vanguard. This is the shipbook phase where we are going to do not just the wrap-up and the cleanup of the prior part, but rather actual full decision-making experiences, everything that we have to deal with.
We just got done filming and shooting the planetary exploration. This game's kind of divided into two subs, or two hubs, where if you watched his How to Play video, you would have already had a rundown of those. That planetary exploration video just went live alongside this video on my channel, over on the Quackalope channel.
Check it out.
Make sure you swing over there and check
Definitely.
that out as well. Do you think before or after, does it matter in terms of the order of operations?
I think it'll make a lot more sense. Honestly, if you're here first, head on over to Jesse's video, watch that first. You could just watch this one,
Sure.
but you will be lacking context. Also,
a lot of stuff happened there. It's only about an hour long, and I'd say it's worth the watch.
no spoilers. Jesse did things in that video that he regretted.
Me?
Jess, I went along for the ride. You convinced me. You convinced me. I blame Jesse. He did things he regrets. I listened to him and I regret that. Past that, I will also note, make sure to leave a thumbs up on that video. Not this one.
Oh.
I mean, this one too. I'm cool with it. But if he gets to 1,000 thumbs up...
I like that you're pushing... We pushed it to the end of the video over there. Me thinking that maybe there was a chance that, like...
Nope.
Okay, explain.
He said on that video at the end, last minute decisions, that if he gets to 1,000 thumbs on that video, he will do a full solo run-through of a different one of the planets, which you do want to see because I've played all the planets, and the other one. There are things that happen in these planets that make this exciting. There's a reason we like this game.
And so if you want to force me into that, the moment that video hits 1,000, I will be taking a day off to sit down and produce a solo adventure here.
And it's worth doing.
And by the way, if you're wondering why we're up here, I sprinted 10 hours in your direction to spend a day playing this because we thought it would be really cool to be the first time ever that Awakened Realms has, I mean, 2 prototypes in the same spot. It's pretty special.
We're only playing with one, but there was like one equipment card I really liked, so I wanted Jesse to bring it over so we have 2.
And here's the reality. I didn't want to have to learn the game. You've spent time studying this so that you could teach me. All that being said, that's not the point of this video.
Let's get into it. So, the point of this video is...
if you're not subscribed to Board Game Co. yet, what the heck are you doing? We do stuff like this. You should totally subscribe so you don't miss out on anything.
They're on my channel. I mean, I guess you may not have subscribed.
No.
They may
you're gonna have like 25,000 people watch this video. Not every one of them subscribe.
If you're coming here because you like Awakened Realms content, understand I have talked about Nemesis. I have not talked about Tainted Grail. I have not talked about Other Fields. I do have an unboxing of Other Fields coming soon, but then honestly, watch his unboxing. It's so much better.
Listen. If you're here because you like board games, you like adventure games, you like context around Kickstarters or GameFound projects, or you're excited about Awakened Realms, subscribe.
Yeah, and him too. And thumbs up. And thumbs up.
Ignore me.
In any case, we're going to be going through this shipbook, okay? This giant, intimidating book that people think is just maintenance and is scaring them off, and I understand that because I saw this book and was scared the first time I saw it. And to make this as authentic as possible, we're literally starting from where we left off.
Yes, sir.
In that last video. So what we're doing here, this is literally where we left off. I'm going to start the whole clearing. Normally I would do the shipbook a little bit different space, but just because of the over here, the video, we're going to keep it all together. So I'm just going to pull things off very quickly. So to begin with, let's move some things out of the way over here, and we will put that shipbook in the way. We're going to have to take these off over here. I remember where they are, which is important for that shipbook phase. And then we're going to move these out of the way, like so, and drop that shipbook directly down in that space.
Yeah, significantly messier because of
The table
this
space,
top
yeah.
shot that we're doing.
Exactly. This is not nearly as bad. I've done this multiple times now. It's not nearly as bad in real life. So I'm going to go through each of these, following each of the points as we go. The key thing to remember is there's actually every single section of the ship book comes with a quick 3-sentence or 2 sentences, whatever it is, of what you need to do, followed by rules. And we're going to go through the full rules of this. We're going to go through the full rules of this as we take this out over here, put these off to the side. So, if the mission fail token is in the lander tray, we did not fail the mission.
No, well,
or, wait, no.
I mean...
Or at least one mission card is still revealed.
Oh, no.
Your last planetary mission is considered a failure.
Oh, no.
Which has never happened to me. This is new. Because we had a thing. Each crew member discards their rank up card, and then go to the last ship book.
No!
We do not rank up.
Oh, but we accomplished this!
Nope, we lose it nonetheless. Our rank up cards are gone. We do not get to level up our characters because we failed, and not only that,
The amount of consequence that has happened, not only emotional damage from the last video,
Yep.
but now actual in-game, this sucks. This really sucks.
Then go to the last ship book divider, Adrift. This is new. I actually have not done this.
I love that you've succeeded all your missions and you play with me, and technically we failed.
Technically indeed. So I actually haven't read the Adrift yet. So, reduce all point dials in the ship status pane by 2. Outer larger dials. So we're going to reduce these by 2.
That's a resource.
Yep, and the 10 over there is really 0. Okay. Draw a random situation card and place it directly in the awaiting cards pocket by the arrival divider. Draw a random situation card placed directly in the waiting trial dockets. Reduce the morale attribute by 1. If a mission fail token is on the land tray, if you have no mission fail token, go back to the bridge divider and resolve it again. Okay, so we're going back to the ship divider. So basically bad things happen because we failed our mission, and now we have this over here. So return all hazards, leads, events, mission card supplies back to the appropriate trays. So we would pack up all these leads over here. Jesse,
Sure.
do you have any leads in front of you?
Leads,
not discoveries.
I don't believe I got leads. I got a few discoveries.
Discoveries you want to hold on to.
Though. Yep.
Okay, I got another lead over here. Perfect. This will go back to the tray off to the side. Leads, event cards, and mission cards. That's all these over here. They will go off to the side. Supplies cards. We can take all the supplies, put them off to the side. We got all those already.
Okay.
Markers and models back to the appropriate trays. We've done already. Return all equipment cards to their appropriate crew dividers. So if you'd like to pass me your equipment cards, or any of the equipment cards we have.
I've got the supplies over here. Here's the equipment
Perfect.
cards, and 2 more that were in front of me.
Okay.
There you are.
Okay, we're going to give you your blue ones. Or actually, I'll take care of them. Okay.
Put those into our little personal capsules.
Yep. And keep in mind as well, this phase is slower than I would like, but also that's because these boxes are really not ideal, and this is a good time to cry prototype out loud. Okay.
What? This is a prototype?
It's a prototype.
I thought everyone was playing this.
Remove all cards from the awaiting cards packet and put them over there. I already did that. Place any situation cards that are out of ship book into the active situations. So that is going to be where we're going to have active situations in the ship book over here. So we're going to put those situations into their active situations or whatnot. We'll just leave them on top right now because it's easier to deal with. We can slot them if we need to. And starting with the first one, we're going to roll the ship die. And we're going to resolve that. Nothing happens there.
Good.
So, intersectional games. When active, +2 morale. Basically, this is something I earned in prior ship phases, where we've turned all misunderstandings and tensions between sections into a friendly competition.
Cool. I like
this
it.
This is a positive situation. Those happen as well. And so we're going to add that. When active, +2 morale. So we're going to add 2 to our morale dial, which is very helpful because we just lost our morale. We want to move that to our +2. And shuffle this card back into the situations deck. Builder's Cult. We're going to roll a ship die, and nope, if you had gotten the ISS Vanguard symbol, we would have called that a day.
Yeah.
-2 to the Builder's Cult Ruin Strength. Its members denouncing the captain and vandalizing many parts of the ship. -2 to all dials. Okay, that's going to be, I believe, the main outer dials. No, this is fine. We're already mostly down to 0 on
Yeah,
these.
we're good. We didn't even need the resource.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, by the way, this is something that I have to say, I'm actually pretty happy to see this happening, because one of the things that I've seen as I progressed through the game is that I've been able to get better at managing those dials, and seeing how quickly they can reset, and it gives you that back and forth instead of not feeling rewarded.
Yep.
You may lose 1 morale to remove this card and place it at the bottom of the situations deck. And so in hindsight, we could have done that instead, but given the fact that we only gave up assembly because everything else was down to 0, I think it's better to just resolve it. Okay. And then, okay, so this is when active -2 all does. Okay, perfect. Then we move to the debriefing phase. In this debriefing phase, we're going to mostly skip this because this is going to be relevant for primarily resolving conflicts when you have people who can't make different decisions together.
Sure.
We don't really need as much. There are a bunch of crude buttons over there.
I disagree. I never agree with you.
Exactly. We're going to move to unloading. Place unique discoveries in slots, gain bonuses if unlocked. So you have a unique discovery 6, which is specifically going to go over there.
So we're sliding in on this side here.
Yes, we are.
Right,
Just give it a little push.
There we are.
Prototype stuff. Okay, planet phase, nothing relevant now. Then we're going to go ahead and slot these discoveries. Do you have any other discoveries?
I have all of my mineral ones here.
Okay, so just start slotting them in. You only have to worry if it says something relevant to this phase. So for instance, I have this one which says ship phase. Add +1 to generators.
Both of mine are ship phase.
Yeah, so this one...
Ship phase gain 2 science points, and each section gains 1 chosen blue. Discard this card.
Okay, so this is where it's interesting. So we have some choices to make with these cards, which we could have done before we slot them in hindsight.
Wow.
So this one would let us to add, there's a few kinds of cards. There's cards that happen during the planet phase, cards that happen when you slot them, and cards that just you can choose to utilize them in the ship phase. So for example, we could choose to discard this card to add 1 to generators, but our generators are already at max. So there's no reason to do so. Versus, we may want to give all of us a blue card. So you can choose to discard any of these if you'd like. To any of these cards that say discard, do you want to utilize any of them now?
I mean, do we potentially want science points to use? We're down at 0.
Yeah, I kind of think science points are fun.
So let's see here. Let's pull this out.
Yep.
And let's go ahead and give us a blue card as well.
A blue die each.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that'll be important for going back onto the planet, right?
Yep. Basically, every ship section, every single faction of the 4 factions of this deck are going to get a blue die.
Okay.
Now, in this context over here, let's just show the most symbol. So this one has Vanguard as the most.
That's kind of nice.
It is. It is. There's 2 of those that have Vanguard the most. Any of these particularly appeal to you?
Yeah, I mean, the wild.
Cool, take the wild. Now the wild, I will say, even though it's the most, it doesn't have 3 faces, it has 2 faces.
I'm still okay with that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take the wild as well, adding it to my faction box.
Odds just slightly higher, super powerful.
And then let's add these 2.
Would I have tucked all of my personal dice into my faction box?
Yes,
as well?
actually. You could do that right now, but you're going to need them soon, which is why I didn't tell you.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, all of these will be seen. These 3 will go off to the side. So we've chosen to do that, and we can gain manufacturing points. Do you want to gain manufacturing points?
We're at 0 again.
I think so,
It might be beneficial.
And these are great cards to hold because you're going to find these cards are very beneficial to hold onto when you're doing well and utilize them when you have dramatic failures like, well, we just
Now,
had.
if we discover later on that we needed manufacturing, could we have skipped this and came back to discard that?
No,
or
we
make
can't.
the decision
You have
now?
to make the decision as you go, and that's to keep the flow moving as ideally as
Makes
possible.
sense.
And so from there, we're going to go to the mission archive. Save all cards left on the planet board, close and store the Planetopia. This is basically where you can save the progress of the planet you're visiting.
Because every sector you can go back to, and so when we revisit this planet, the evidence that we discovered a giant barren wasteland of dust, and the fact that we did one of the most horrific things I've ever done in a game specifically, the fact that those things happened. Well, we'll be able to go witness our mistakes, and they'll never reset.
And we only had really 3 sectors. They have all the potential sectors in case you need, but as you can see, I've already explored 3 different planets, and that's where some of the
real consequences in this game suck.
Then we go to the med bay. In the med bay, we're going to take any crew members that had injuries.
None of us got injured.
Before we do this in order. First, we move crew members in the med bay to the left.
You have some crew in here from your earlier games.
These crew members are going to be healing from our earlier game, which means they're just going to go out of the thing. And this whole concept of out of ship book is a big deal. Anything just comes out and you deal with it as you go through. It really works well. Gallet over here is going to, let's see which sleeve they are. Gallet is going to shift 1 over to heal. And then we will take any injured people and slot them depending on 1, 2, or 3 injuries.
Neither of us got any injuries.
None whatsoever. Yeah. That's the one thing we did right last mission.
We made it home.
We'll move from there to the memorial wall, where we would basically say goodbye to anyone who left.
This is really neat because throughout the course of memorialize, like your crew dies. I mean, it's not a reset.
100%.
Your crew dies, and the card gets placed in the book to remind you of your loss.
Yes.
But along with that, the knowledge, the skills, the way that they inspired you, the way their death happened, all of that leads to discoveries.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's a really nice thing. It's well done. In this game, you really are your faction or your section.
You honor
more
them.
than you are any individual member.
And you'll always pass through this. You'll always be reminded of the history that this crew has been on. Mm-hmm. And for me, I think the rest of the crew is going on to honor their sacrifice.
This is no red shirter. These people have names.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move to the Quicksave section, relevant in case you had Quicksave the game in between. We did not.
Nope.
And then from there to the bridge. This is going to be the first one.
most of your experiences have been about 2-hour blocks.
Yes.
Which means Quicksave, if you get interrupted, your kids come home from school, might be useful in a situation like that. You pack it up quickly, but odds are you should probably be able to contain most, at least early game, in self-contained play sessions.
And I'd recommend trying to get those self-contained play sections. And as much as the Quicksave can be appealing in the right situation, it does mean you're adding more setup and tear down.
My only thing is, I like acknowledging that there is a higher likelihood that you won't need that than that you will need it.
100%.
Right?
100%. I've yet to use it so far. From there we move to the bridge here, which is the main section where we're going to start making real decisions. So until now we've had a varying degree of decisions, but it's mostly been doing what we need to do. So here, Jesse, if you would like to roll the ship die.
I'd love to roll a ship die. You know how good I am at this.
Yes, you are. And you actually are good at it. So that is going to basically lead to us getting 3 energy points.
Okay.
Plus the 3 on the generators we have.
The 3 from this?
The 3 from the generators, yes. Which means we're going to go to 6. Which is a perfect roll. That's basically as good as you could have gotten.
You know what they say about me.
You roll perfectly
I'm as good
time.
as you could have gotten.
As good as you could have gotten. Which means, Jesse, we now have a decision to make. We can go to System D, which is moving forward. I know that sounds weird. Or System E, which is moving back. We've already previously been to System E, so it's basically forward or back.
So we could go forward and visit something. Do we have to move from this location?
So basically, the way this phase works is you have 6 energy. You have to ensure that you don't end this entire phase with no energy, or we'll be adrift again and repeat the cycle.
We'll do that whole sequence that you've never seen before again.
Never again, exactly. Right. And the idea behind that is it gives you a way to never be fully stranded while also penalizing you for not managing your resources.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm not opposed to going to... Let's try System D. That's something you haven't seen before?
Yeah, System D.
So 2 energy.
Perfect. I'm glad you picked that because the idea of going backwards in this demo does not appeal to me just yet. Okay, we're going to go ahead and drag this one out of the card over here.
Okay.
This is going to go to our visited system.
It'll slot in there?
Yep. And we're going to grab System D.
Now, could I have looked at this beforehand?
So, no, you actually, the way it works with these systems is you're not allowed to look at them before you make this decision, at least unless it's something you previously visited. But
scans reveal an artificial object in the Bori center of the binary stars. Something that shouldn't be here. Another builder's construct?
Another builder's construct. So remember how in your, I believe we said, I can't remember where we said this, in either the gameplay, tutorial, somewhere we said this. Yeah. There are 5 different systems and 3 different planets. This looks like a system without a full landing opportunity, although we'll see exactly how it works, because each of these represents a way to spend energy and to get something. So we can spend an energy to get a production point. We can spend an energy to pay a science point and gain a strange flora discovery. Or, in this case, well, Andor, what do you want to do?
What's this one down here?
This is going to be a landing opportunity. I don't know how it plays out because there's no planet here. So I've never actually done that yet.
So it says TWI 5H at Artropes.
It looks like we're landing on this little miniature planet here.
The spinning magnetic field and extreme radiation of this planet make a landing here extremely risky. Great.
Seems like we should do it.
1, and we're going to trigger book page number 65.
Okay, and here is your logbook.
Good time to emphasize, this is a prototype, meaning we have some printed out things. You're also going to hear some audio narration because this entire game is fully voiced by multiple voice actors.
Yep. And I'm going to go ahead and reduce our energy, or did you already do so? You already reduced it.
Perfect. I did reduced it. And I'm looking for log 65 here.
Log 65.
Captain's log, entry 412. We knew that landing on the Artropes would present unusual challenges. Instead of risking the lives of the away team, I ordered a quick scouting run first. Choose 1 lander tray from the hangar and place it on the table. Choose 1 crew member from any section box and place their card on the lander. If players can't agree on the choice, the first officer will make it.
So we can either use the Pelican lander, or we can go back and use our starting lander from the hangar.
We were just in the Pelican. Let's take the Pelican out.
Grab the Pelican. And I'll just grab unless you have a specific choice, I'll just grab a crew member from the recon section here. And go ahead.
Log 57 is next. Let's see here. Log 57. Scoutcraft mission flight recorder. Mission time, 1624. We're approaching the mesosphere of the planet. We detected something that looks like a radioactive force field up ahead. The systems tell us there are some gaps in the barrier barely larger than our lander. I'll try to fit into one of them. Mission time 1655. The lander is now at the right angle. Engaging boosters. 3, 2, 1, start. Mission time 1658. Shh. The radiation levels keep rising. Many systems are not responding. The window is shifting. Shh. Retracting to our presence. It's the last chance to change direction. Abort landing or let the landing proceed.
Okay, so I know what you want to do because I want to do the same thing, but I don't know.
I don't want to read it.
Which one is it? Log 74.
74.
If your lander has at least 6 this and that, I don't know the words for it, which we don't. I'll tell you right now, our
Why don't
Pelican
we?
does not. Yes,
we
our
don't.
Pelican has
We've got one.
sensors,
We've got a
sensors and
sensor.
agility. We have 1 sensors. Now you can upgrade your landers with mods or get multiple landers throughout the game. So this might have been perfectly
I hear
fine.
what you're saying.
But not this time. Capcom, Scoutcrafts, do you copy? I repeat, do you copy? Shh. Sergeant Johnson, we lost contact with the lander. No sign of emergency beacons either. Capcom, impossible. The calculations were correct. The whole silence. Enough! This is a sad day for Vanguard, and for every one of us. First, let's prepare a memorial ceremony for another brave soul this ship has lost. A time for investigations will come later. Remove the crew member on the lander from the sleeve. This crew member is now dead. Jesse.
What?
Jesse.
All right.
Unbelievable.
All right.
Discard the lander, and this is part I didn't...
This game's just made me feel bad. Multiple
Discard
times.
the lander and reduce your morale.
What do you mean discard the lander?
So apparently, the way this game works, and I knew this part, I probably should have told you, but I
Yeah.
didn't actually know we were going to die.
Okay.
We just lost the Pelican. We can rebuild it by spending other points doing different phases, but we lost the Pelican. We can rebuild a new Pelican.
Wait.
Now, if we had chosen our starting lander, you never discard your starting lander.
Okay.
So that would be a decision tree that we should be focusing on. The downside is your starting lander doesn't always have the stats you want. So it is a trade-off. It's not a simple decision. Which means we're now down to 3 energy. And Jesse, our options here are... We need to land. So here's the problem. We need to really land. System B is the only thing we haven't explored yet. I recommend we go to System B.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
So System B.
Spending
I'll
1
pull this up.
energy. And we're looking for a place to land before
We're looking for a place to land.
we're just left adrift.
Now this is where I actually don't know how this plays out entirely because... Well, actually, never mind. I
The
do know.
light coming from the far system appears to disobey Hubble's law. Its sun moves in the opposite direction to the rest of the stars in the cluster, in defiance of the global expansion of the universe.
And so we have 2 energy left. We do have a bunch of
Oh,
options
don't
here.
even... You can't skip how beautiful that is.
The mermaid planet is beautiful.
I just mean the flavor text.
The mermaid is beautiful. Look at that glowing ball of...
spinning in defiance
energy.
to existence itself.
So here's the problem. We have energy options over here for production points, lose assembly points, pay 1 response to gain an alien tech. A bunch of options we have. But ultimately we only have 2 energy, and we need to land. And this one says 2 energy, end of demo, go to log 105. It's not what I want to do, but I think it's what we have to do.
Sure. I'm interested.
Here you go. Here's 105. Rest assured, if this does end, we will still go through how this should play out.
Captain's log. Entry 485. 10 minutes ago, Vanguard began decelerating to subliminal cruise speed, some 0.2 light years away from WT-7 system. As usual, the bridge was instantly flooded with data. All the information that couldn't reach our ship as it rode into the Albuquerque wave immediately caught up with us. On top of that, all our systems started sending automated reports. The bridge should be at Hornet's Nest now, with everyone busy at their stations. This time, it was quiet as a tomb. We immediately saw it. The scintillating Sistine star that orbited WT-7's sun, right where a planet should be. A field of debris left by a dying world the crystal burst out of. The gravity of this discovery wasn't lost on the bridge crew. When we visited Plucid, we took the crystal for a freak accident, likely caused by the civilization that lived there. Now, we knew it wasn't a one-off incident. Someone was purposefully destroying worlds from the Builder's list, a list that planet Earth was on.
That's fairly impactful. Do you realize what just happened there? Someone's trying to destroy planets here, and Earth is one of them.
Thank you for playing the ISS Vanguard prototype demo. We hope you enjoyed your game, and we invite you to return again for the full experience that will include 18 different planet boards, 24 systems to explore, 20 to 30 hours of exciting core campaign storyline, 200 plus unique points of interest, 200 plus research projects, production projects, situation and blueprints, modular mission equipments, interactions with alien races, different types of planetary guardians, and more.
And that is the end of the demo.
let's continue going through this book.
So yes, because the goal of this phase is to tell you how
show
this
you
would
how this
play
works.
out.
Yep.
And so right now,
Let's say we just landed.
we're ready to land.
That 2 energy actually brought us down onto a planet.
Yep.
We're landing our cruiser. We're ready to start exploration again.
Exactly.
After this sequence is over.
Yep. So hypothetically, we're about to land. We're going to continue from there. So we have the system E2, and now we move over here where if we had additional energy, we could spend it to install this advanced star map, which sadly we're not going to because we have no energy left.
And I
we're
spent
down
it
to
all.
0. We spent it all.
Yeah.
So we're going to skip past there. We get to the situation room where we're going to move slotted situation cards to the left. So we are going to immediately move this food shortage situation one more, making it harder to actually deal with.
And these are the situations that we dealt with at the very beginning of the book. So
Correct.
if this cycles out next and we don't deal with it, we've got to deal with it next time.
Correct. Now, over here, the next step is we're going to draw a random ship situation card. So we're going to draw a random situation from the deck over here, which I will go ahead and do so. And we're going to place that in a slot 1. Now, Jesse, I want to point out something very important here. If we have less than 2 morale, then we draw another situation card.
Okay.
And we do have less than 2 morale because you chose to continue flying the lander and killed one of our crew, and understandably dead crew result in less morale. So now, not only have we lost a crew, we are also drawing an additional situation card. Thank you for your sacrifice.
What do we get?
What do we get? So we have over here, we have the Builder's Cult, which requires... okay, let's go through each of them. A strange new religion appears. Its prophets claim the builders of the Eye of the Void are the true gods of humanity and denounce the captain as a blasphemer. So that's one option.
You're a blasphemer!
And we don't know how these will play out. We're just figuring out. And then
I love people declaring people blasphemers.
Outbreak. Several crew members succumb to a strange disease that doesn't seem to pose a serious threat to their life, despite fever and their sudden problems with eyesight. Okay, so that's there. Now we currently have, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll our red and green situation dice from the security section. Can you reach into your box, make sure you have all your red and green situation dice. Yep, that works. Go ahead and roll them all. And we have 1 Vanguard symbol. So we're going to go ahead.
That's not very good.
No, that's 1 out of 6. That's exactly statistically likely. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our current morale attribute, which is 1, which is going to give us a total of 2 response points that we can spend on these situations. So we currently have 2 response points, and we can spend spawn points over here to try to resolve this. Now this food shortage over here has a 3 times cost because it's been escalating. So we can't afford either of these options, which means our options are we can debunk the Builder's Cult, paying 1 response point.
I'm going to be honest. I think blasphemer is a term that should be utilized more often in our society today.
Okay.
And so I do not feel like arguing with them. I respect their choice of blasphemer.
Okay, then well, here's the thing. We have currently a few options. This is out of what we can afford to spend.
I hear you.
Which means we can spend 1 to currently shuffle this back into the situations deck. It may show up again.
Yeah.
Same over here. We can move... Oh, sorry. This one is we can move this card to the previous stage if it's empty, which I don't even know what that means if it's in stage 1.
Yeah.
Or we can spend quarantine, shuffle this card back into the situations deck. So if you want the blasphemers to show up more often, why don't we just quarantine the outbreak and deal with the blasphemers?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Cool. So we're going to spend our 2
Can
points.
I deal with them, though, by expressing my support for their cult?
I don't think you're supposed to, but you mean your game. You can
However I want to handle it. Yeah.
So
Great.
we're going to put this back in the situations box, and this one is going to stay here, where next round it will escalate, and this one next round will escalate to being imminent, and we'll have to deal with it. So that's this round. We have we reduce our response points down to 0, and we're spending response points to deal with things that we don't yet know their consequences. And that's the situation room. The research laboratory. So make a ship die roll with the science faction. So we're going to grab the science faction and their dice, and we're going to be rolling with their green and blue dice. So we have their dice over here, and again, these boxes are not as ideal as we can have. So we're going to roll their green and blue dice. And we have 2 Vanguard symbols.
Okay.
We're going to add that to our research track, which was over here on 2. So we have a total of 4 research points added to our science, brings us to 6 research points. That's a decent amount to spend. So, Jesse, we can spend it on a few things, but before we do, we get to attempt a free automatic roll on any of these. If you roll an ISS Vanguard symbol...
Top one.
Nope, nothing. Which makes sense. And this is meant to be the concept of a breakthrough. Sometimes you get lucky.
Surprise
but we
event.
didn't.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and deal with that now, which means any of these that we want to, well, we have 6 points and we can spend it on those. How do you want to handle that?
I like the idea of...
Oh, wait, before, So this card was in our awaiting cards. Which means we grab it off the table and we slot it in. So this is another option on the table.
This is improved landers. Considering we just lost one,
I think we need improved landers.
I don't hate that either. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That's going to be 2 science points.
So these cost science points as well as various discoveries we've had. So this is a good time to flip back to the discoveries.
We do have the discoveries.
Well, do we? That's the question.
I believe so.
So we have 1 microorganism, 2 mineral, and 2 live specimen.
Okay.
So
and we need
have 2 mineral. We don't have alien tech. We have 1 microorganism and 1 live specimen. We could do this
Let's do that one. I was looking at...
or we could do this one. These are the 2 options we have.
I was honestly looking down here at the biosensors. So let's do that.
Okay. So go ahead and reduce our research down by 3.
Science down by 3.
Science by 3, that's right.
Okay.
This is worth noting as well that most of these dials will stay between ship phases. The only one that goes down to 0 is going to be the generators in general. That's going to always reduce to 0. So we have completed this. Just like Earth's nature inspired many human inventions, the flora and fauna of alien worlds brought us new breakthroughs. Gained the Biosensor Array Science Equipment Card, Drones Engineering Equipment Card, the Rapid Response Scanners Blueprint Card, and the Relaxation Oculus Blueprint Card. I love the
Very cool.
Oculus. If you want to go ahead and grab the various blueprint cards mentioned there, and I will grab the equipment mentioned there.
Rapid Response Scanners.
Yep, whatever it says there.
Okay, Relaxation Oculus and the other one?
Perfect. So these are going to be new blueprints and equipment that we are going to put off to the side, and they'll be put into our various boxes, or the blueprints will actually go somewhere else shortly. So that's going to be this, and we're going to slot that, and now we have 3 science points left for next time. From there we get to the manufacturing complex, where we go ahead and we move production projects in queues to the left, which means this one over here, which has been already over here, is going to shift over here. And Jesse, you can go ahead and reveal that.
Improved Vanguard system. Our long trek to the Eye of the Void and our first mission gave us many ideas on how to improve our new home. Now we flip this over, and we don't know what this is until it processes, right? So, complete production project. Production complete. Our long trek, just read that. Gain +1 generators and Tier A cards. Power storage modular ship upgrade card. Quantum network ship upgrade card. Additional construction bay. Hangar upgrade card. And perimeter defenses blueprint card.
Okay, so that's a lot of stuff we have to grab over here. So we have our quantum network ship upgrade card.
Perimeter defenses.
We have a power storage module ship upgrade card. That's going to be over here.
And additional construction bay hangar upgrade card.
Hangar upgrade card. I don't believe we have that one. Okay.
Well, either way,
yeah,
it's a prototype.
It's a prototype. Some of these things, and we may actually have them. Some of these cards I have noticed over time have been missing to agree, so I don't know where the hangar upgrades are. It could be in there.
We've got boxes all over the place.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this off to the side, or this actually goes into our completed projects. No, discard. This goes off to the side. Okay. We have our lander module, which we'll put down over here, and then our uninstalled ship upgrades, which will go over here as well. And then we can choose to deal with any other production projects, which we do have this one, which we can spend. So we didn't do this part over here, where we get to actually go through here rolling our dice. So the engineering faction, that's going to be me, is going to roll, all my dice are over here, is going to resolve my blue and red dice. Add the vanguards, of which there's three
vanguards
to our production. So we had a total of 6 production, moving our production dial all the way up to 8.
Okay.
Just make sure this was over here on the 3. So we now have 8 production to spend, which is a chunk, because we can grab any production cards we have to the side now would slot in. In this case, we're going to go ahead and take this one out. This is ready for production, and we're going to go ahead and pay the 2 initial manufacturing points. So if you want to reduce that down to 6, perfect. And then we're going to get we can put it over here for like so. Now we can spend a boost. The problem is there's another card in the way, so we can't actually boost it. And this one doesn't have a boost cost, which means some things just take time. Other things you can accelerate.
Yep.
So we can't unfortunately boost that one. And this is going to be a Vindicator cannon, which I don't know what it is.
Sounds cool.
I want it.
Sounds cool.
Okay, that's going to end our production phase over here. And now we're going to go to the hangar, where we can build and modify new landers. Now, you know what we can build, Jesse? What would be great to build? A Pelican lander.
That'd be great.
So, store your lander, which if we had one, we'd do so. Roll your red and green dice.
We might not be able to use that lander.
It's possible we weren't.
Because it wasn't in the hangar.
It's possible we weren't. That's definitely a possibility.
Either way.
Either way. So we're going to go ahead and grab the red and green dice.
Now, normally, again, because this is the way we have it set up, these would already be around the table with the different squads that you were running.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to roll this. And we have 1, 2, 3. Jesse, I should roll the dice more
Yeah,
often
you
than
should.
Okay, that's going to be our dice over there, and that's going to be added to our production as well. This dial counts for both. So we have a total of 6. No, not there. That one. We're going to add 6 to our assembly. So the assembly does not use its own built-in dial. It uses the production. So that's going to be that. And now we can deal with the blueprints. So we did unlock some blueprints over here. Let's go ahead and add the relaxation oculus over here. And now, Jesse, we can start trying to make blueprints. Okay, we can add them to different rows. This actually should not be over here. It should be higher up. But the question, Jesse, is what do we want to do? We have 6 points. We can, for each
Pelican's
point,
3.
Pelican is 3.
So I mean, I'm not opposed to another Pelican.
Okay, so the way that works is for each
I
point...
broke your first one, I'll fix your next one.
For each point you spend, you slot a card down, and once you have all the parts, you immediately get to roll the ship die. Go ahead. That's a failure. So, but you can pay an additional point to roll it again. And boom, that's a success.
Cool. So we're down to 2, though.
We're down to 2, exactly. Now you did get an extraordinary success, which means you can immediately slot and roll for another blueprint. So the Pelican always goes back into its own little thing, which means you can always rebuild the Pelican. And you did break our last one, but you got it back, so all is forgiven.
You're welcome.
All right, so this Pelican over here, we'll put off to the side, and we'll deal with that. So now you get to bring another blueprint down, if you so choose.
Let's move that relaxation oculus that we just got down.
It does look good. I like
after,
VR.
After the events that have happened, I kind of feel like we need it.
So you slot it down and go ahead, and again, this is only 1 out of 1, so you immediately reroll. And nothing. You can spend another one of your points, down to 1. And that one is a success, but not a critical success, which means we got it, but we are down
we don't
to
get to slot
0
something immediately.
points. Exactly.
Yep.
So now we go ahead and flip it, and you can read that, sir.
Planet phase. Each crew member resting in the lander sector draws 1 more card.
I like that.
That's actually pretty nice.
I like that. So
additional card draw is a big deal.
When your modules, you get to put any of these into a section here, and you can also cover up inherent modules too.
Yeah.
So you can customize your landers with 4 different options, or possibly more depending on the lander, that will give you different abilities. These can be potentially lost if you say, I don't know, pilot your lander in the wrong area.
Nope. I wouldn't do that.
So now this is going to go off to over here, the other side, where we can slot it into our completed modules. These are all lander modules that we can add to customize our lander to whatever situation we want. So for instance, these over here can all give us different stats in different ways, different supplies, lower supplies, higher supplies, different navigation, things like that. And that completes the hangar phase. Well, not entirely, because this Pelican needs to be
Now we
reslotted.
have the Pelican.
Now we have the Pelican. Okay. And then from there, we're going to move to the next phase, which is going to be the Barracks phase. This is where we're going to be able to add new crew members to our squad. So we start by moving all crew members from all barrack slots back to the section boxes. So that's going to be all crew members from previous missions, both resting crew members that were in previous missions, as well as all of these. And so they are going to go off to the side, where they will be put into their respective boxes as we need. Okay. Then we're going to draft new crew members. So if there are any crew members out of the shipbook, we should put them into the resting, which means all the crew members we had, which would be the 2 people we used, go to the resting phase. Which means these are going to be a few people. These are going to be the people who we used this mission, as well as the people that we that were in the med bay that got healed. So that's 4 people in resting, 2 from this mission, 2 from last mission. So those people are unavailable, they're currently resting. And now we start a crew member draft. So what we are going to do is we're going to grab the crew members that we have, and we're going to basically pick 1 for each option over here. And we're going to put down 5, 1 for each section, and you can flip those.
Okay.
And we go ahead and we can choose to draft them for our different sections. So the way this works is we can choose to draft them, or we can just coordinate, of course. And anyone you don't choose, you can instead add a die to your section box. So you can customize your dice throughout the course of the game, or customize your crew members. Any of them you particularly want for your crew?
I like Cheryl Hayes, records keeper. Spend 1 charge when you roll. Use any 1 from your spent dice pool.
That is cool. Plus, she gives you that on blue dice of that color.
Oh yeah.
So
and
go ahead.
We needed that.
So in your last box of your faction box over here, there's going to be sleeves where you can give her a rank 1 sleeve.
Very cool.
And slot her in.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and actually add strength to my faction, this person over here, because he gives you strength, which I like. And that was something that I found particularly lacking in my recon faction, or my engineering faction, that is.
Do we draft 1 for each faction?
1 for each faction, regardless of whether they're in play or not.
So I'm going to follow up with, I like... When landing, you add 1 to your lander armor value. Jamor Golbov, I'm going to add him over there to the pink faction.
Okay. Let's go ahead and grab a sleeve.
And then who are you thinking out of Carla and Yut?
Carla and Yut. So Yut has you may ignore a hazard when traveling, which could be useful. Then again, Builder has spend a charge and treat as whatever. So I'm not entirely sure. I like the flexibility of ignoring a hazard. I don't know. It's going to be very situational.
Sure.
But
Yut also gives you a compass for those blue dice, so
Yes.
sticking them into the purple box might be pretty effective.
okay, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. And he has a little creature next to him, which I
Creatures are the best. Okay.
like. So level 1.
So fun fact over here, if you do not have any level 1 sleeves, which we do not for the purple faction, then you can't take another character, but you can instead do a section improvement.
Okay.
So instead it looks like Yut will not be entering our crew deck right now, but instead we'll be doing a section improvement where you can choose to add any die. You want a red, green, or blue die for the...
Toss a green in there.
Okay, so we got a green die with that little fun science symbol, which will be added to the science faction. And now the science faction is leveled up there. Then we go to the recruitment officer. Nope, we did that. Okay, recruitment, we did that. Gain any bonuses printed on the occupied slots. Okay, great. So now what we get to do is we get to add a crew member to each of these slots to potentially gain a bonus, which I think is important because we had a lot of downsides to our ship thanks to the going adrift.
Am I able to go ahead and toss Cheryl into one of these?
Yes, you can toss any character you have in your crew faction box into one of these slots.
I wanted to use her. I don't think I have a ton of other characters that are like readily available. So let's go ahead and stick her into, and I'm thinking rank up. I kind of want to get a rank up bonus.
So the problem with the rank up is I don't know if we have the necessary gems for them right now.
Oh, do we not?
So I think it's going to have to be...
a pile of gems over here.
Oh, we didn't. You're right. We did have those at the end of the level. So we could do a rank up, or you could potentially, she is from the blue faction, we could get an additional response point for the next time we have a situation.
I do hear what you're saying.
Just saying, I mean, unless you want to be a blasphemer your whole life.
All right.
Okay. So go ahead and up our response point by 1. I'm going to up our assembly point by 1. Again, these are basically just people who are being assigned to different factions.
Yep,
to do
they're
different
manning.
things.
They're manning a station, making sure that some of our,
And I'll give you the yellow faction box to choose a character from.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put my purple faction over here to gain a science point. Do you want to bump me up by a science point?
I will bump you up by a science point. And then, are we at 3? Yeah, we're at 3.
We're at
now.
3, yes.
And then, let's see here. Waylon?
It looks like this is your only option because these require higher ranks.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll pop into there, and that's going to bump us up by...
Actually, he is a senior. He could go over here to give us an energy.
Oh, do that.
Yeah, the
Do
energy
that.
is definitely something I want more of.
But we're already at 3 energy.
No, that's 3 generators. We have 3 generators. We're at 0 energy.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
1 energy.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
And then from there, we're done with that phase, and now we would move to the mission preparations, and this is where we started your video. This is where we started the preparation for the lander procedure. And that's
So there we have it.
Yeah.
A solid, I mean, that was about 40 minutes.
About 40, yeah, a little bit once we started from when we got, yeah,
We were
roughly
reading
40 minutes.
flavor text and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Fairly quick, fairly efficient.
And some of this, I
and
will
this
say...
gets richer the deeper you get into
Yeah,
it.
and there's really 2 ways this plays out. I've played this now solo and with you. And really, it can go either way. It can be faster, especially if you're doing it solo. It's
Sure.
going to be much faster as you go through it because you're just thinking and doing those things. Kind of like Rise of 7th Continent, the way I'd make decisions. Over here, though, it's a collaborative process, which does add to the time.
Yep.
But like you saw, most of these things were decisions.
Yep.
They were like a handful of things that are tedious. Just do this, do that.
Not a
Other
lot,
things,
though.
Yeah, most of them are like, okay, well, which crew member do
And
you
I
want?
liked the introduction of potential narrative in some elements of this too. It breaks it up. It takes away the monotony just a little bit.
Yep.
In terms of like, I like the analytics. I like the planning. But after 20 minutes of that, I want a story. And then we were able to try to land on the asteroid. That was cool.
And speaking frankly, I'm pretty sure that if we were doing this without being filmed or whatnot, I actually would have slowed down a bit and enjoyed some of those moments more.
I think you're right. We were trying to focus on getting, getting this to the table.
And that's because I think people are approaching this as like a maintenance book. And so to that end, I want to show you that it does move faster, and it can move faster. But really, I'm not
We would have taken our time with it.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed it. I would be like, let's read through that. Let's discuss the builders thing and the being called.
But I'm in
blasphemer.
Ohio, and I have to drive to Georgia tonight.
Oh yeah, Andy's in a rush. That too. And so this would be the ship phase of ISS Vanguard. If you haven't checked it out already, make sure to check. Well, it's going to be completely out of order, but nonetheless, head on over to Quackalope's channel, link down below, and watch the full gameplay video of the actual planet.
Do stuff and such. Something, whatever it is,
Exactly. And until next time, have a good one.